Everybody, welcome to Wednesday evening. I don't know why I'm singing at all, but I'm doing what I'm doing. Hello, 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 hello. You may have noticed, but it is subtle, that the graphic for the Be Right Back this that you're looking at now has been updated finally. I got around to fixing a couple of things that were bugging me about it. One, I don't have those stupid Elvis sunglasses anymore. Though that picture that with those sunglasses is very, 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 or was very, very, very old. So that picture, I that anyway. Now the actual sunglasses that I own, the ones I actually love, which are you can't buy them anymore, sadly, but they are Oakley double X metal Juliets. Or, for those who were around and alive at that time, these were, if you ever saw the 2001 X-Men film, they're the sunglasses that Cyclops had. Except mine don't have, even though in this picture I've given them red lenses, I actually do not have the red lenses for them. Whoops, okay. Whoops. Jeez, sorry. I'm talking and doing something at the same time. There we go. I bought them. I just have the normal. I always meant to get the red lenses. I don't even know if you can anymore. I should have just gotten them at the time. But these sunglasses are, I'm going to say they're 21 years old now. They actually are probably slightly older than that at this point. I got them originally. I had a pair of, what were they called? Basically, there was a non-metal version of these sunglasses that Oakley made that I had back in 99, 2000 or so, and I loved them. They were great sunglasses. They were fantastic. No complaints. I really liked them, even though they were plastic. It didn't bother me. I was okay with that. And I brought them on my trip to Italy in 2001. And on the, I think, first day, I'm pretty sure, believe it was the first day that we were in Rome, I managed to lose them. I left them in a bathroom, I think in the hotel that we were staying at. And then we, didn't realize it, went off and we were doing stuff all day or whatever, and at some point, no, I'm sorry. I left them in the bathroom. We checked in, and then I think because that flight, it was a fairly long flight at the time. I don't remember the exact amount of hours, but I think we just kind of collapsed for a little bit and basically napped in the middle of the day because we'd been up all night getting to the airport, and then we had flown for a long period during the day. And so when we checked in, I remember I went to the bathroom and I put them down, and then in the process of getting to the room and everything else, by the time I realized the sunglasses were missing, they were gone. They were long gone. So I luckily had a backup pair of, they weren't really sunglasses. They were actually, I think they were some type of lightweight welding glasses, but they looked like sunglasses. They were safety goggles, but with a red lens kind of shielding to them. So it was fine. I was not without eyewear. But then when we got back from the trip, I ended up just buying the X Metal Juliets because I really liked them. So essentially the same sunglasses, but now metal. And I've had these sunglasses since 2000, probably 2001. Oh, it'd have to be because we went in early 2001, so 2001. So they are 22-year-old sunglasses that look brand new. These things, one of the best things I've ever bought. There are few things I have that have lasted over 20 years. From living in New York, moving to California, everything else, that are basically in stellar shape. I mean, they really do look like they're new. And yeah, so they were expensive. I think when I bought them, they were, they were close to $300 when I bought them. And I know at the time people thought I was a lunatic for spending that much money on sunglasses, but I take care of my stuff outside of losing my other ones in Italy. So I was kind of like, nope, you know what? I learned my lesson in Italy. I'm not going to lose these, and they've held up really, really well. So I have a new transition graphic. Here we go. Get ready. Ta-da! Much better than my old one and much quicker. And then we will go... Oh, you know what? It just occurred to me, though. I don't think I did the edit for the... Yeah. This is one thing that's annoying me. It's not saving. Sorry. I will fix this in 2 seconds. There we go. Save. Now you should see it. Don't know why that's not being saved anymore, but that's a minor thing. So anyway, that's... Why was it? Oh, because the glasses, the sunglasses on the image had changed. Yeah. So yes, those are great, great, great sunglasses. So I have not had to buy a new pair of sunglasses in 22 years, which is, hey, I lucked out. I'm not saying that's the experience for everybody, but that was a thing where I was pretty happy with how that turned out. I have no complaints. Those are great sunglasses. So anyway, I've talked about sunglasses for 5 minutes or so now, so I can shut up about it already. So let's get back to here. And let's see if we can get close to being done. May not be done because I'm going to do some color work with this, but we can get the detail stuff done. I'm trying to figure out what I want to do here. What I want to do as far as the rest. Oh, sorry to be yawning. Actually, it's not a bad yawn. For how I typically yawn in these streams, that was not bad. That was a pretty brief one. That was a short one. I still don't know why I do it, but that at least was not a long one. So I gotta figure out what I want to do for some of the shading on this thing. I mean, I guess I could do it. I could do it through color. Maybe I'll try that first. Maybe I'll try color first. So let's start with, where's our, okay, that's line work. Color should always underpin everything else. So we'll come down here and we'll call this bone color 1, not bang 1. All right. So we'll do bone color. And that's, I mean, bone's pretty easy. Honestly, you're just going to get a kind of this-ish color. There we are. Let's give it a nice, yeah, something like that. Switch over to the paint layer. And we'll start just laying in some, I mean, this is not going to be probably the final color, but this is a placeholder color for now. Just to get, actually, it's not a bad color, though. I do kind of like off-white. But it should probably be brighter. Yeah, something like that. That's it. That's better. Because there's going to be, I'm going to, dark, and then I will, in the interior of the eye sockets will be darker. So for right now, let's figure this out. Let's do, I don't want to go crazy on this. So maybe I'll make this the mid-range color. It's kind of a nice mid-range color. So we'll do the mid-range on this. Whoops, hold on a minute. Let me loop this around. And just erase that out. And we'll get this nice curve. Yeah, there we go. So yeah, those sunglasses are great. Those sunglasses owe me nothing. If they were to literally turn to dust tomorrow, I could not complain because those things have lasted a very long time. Way longer than any other sunglasses I've ever had and probably will ever have. Because I don't know if I would spend that money on sunglasses again today. That was a very, very kind of, I'm young, I have no responsibilities type of purchase. But honestly, it's one of the rare times where I'd say, but it worked out. I mean, those sunglasses they're great. And they're beautiful sunglasses. I mean, and the other thing is they've managed to, because sunglasses tend to reflect the style of the time. And a lot of Oakley stuff has not aged well. But these are, I think, I mean, maybe people would disagree. I think they've aged beautifully. I think they're a really, Oakley is, it's not quite the same company it used to be, at least to me, to my sensibility. I'm just missing this. I just want to get this arc right. Let's loop that up. There we go. They're not quite what they used to be in my eyes for in terms of their designs. They're not bad. I wouldn't say they're bad. They're not ugly, but they are not quite where they used to be for me. Everybody has their own aesthetic judgments, so I'm not saying if you like modern Oakleys that you're wrong. Like whatever you like. Obviously, people must like them. They sell them still. They have not gone under. Even this company, this blender company that's trying to make... there's commercials. I only see them during baseball games, and not all that much, so I don't think they've bought a ton of airtime, but they've definitely bought some. This company called Blender. And it's the dumbest thing because... Not the sunglasses themselves are fine, but they're basically just Oakleys. And the way the guy who is behind it talks, he talks like he's invented some new style of sunglasses, and they're Oakleys. He basically made a version of Oakley's. They're just different enough that he can't get sued for it, although he's pretty close. But but even beyond that, it's just the way he talks as if he's reinvented sunglasses or something. He's made Oakley's. It's very funny to me because this guy goes on and on and on, which is not atypical for people like this, but goes on as if he's somehow, you know, fixed some major problem with the way that sunglasses were designed, which I don't think there is a big problem with them. They seem to work pretty well for a lot of people in a lot of different ways. But again, it's just the way he talks about it. And he's just made Oakley's. He's literally just remade Oakley's again. Actually, I could have left that. That didn't have to. This is what I was trying to erase down here. So it's really funny. Again, Blenders is the name of the company. If you watch the commercials, they are hilarious because they're so delusional in what this guy thinks he's done. I'm sorry, you just made Oakley's again. I understand why. A lot of the designs he picked are good Oakley designs, without a doubt. But they're Oakley's. So not an uncommon thing where people will talk as if they have solved some major problem with something, and then when you actually look at it, you think, well, this was never a problem to begin with. This is a solution looking for a problem, is a very common term in technology. A solution in search of a problem. The solution in search of a problem. And that's exactly what this is. This guy made Oakley's to solve a problem that Oakley had already solved. So, Blenders. Yeah. But I do find that commercial funny every time I see it. I go, yeah, okay, yeah, you've invented another version of sunglasses that people already liked. But you know what? But I haven't looked at Oakley's lineup in a while, so it may be that he's mimicking the older stuff, and that they used to do. Oh, I missed a spot. I missed a huge spot. And maybe that's why he's jumping into that, is because he likes the older Oakleys, which I can understand that. Like I said, I remember Oakley started to change their design philosophy. They started getting very, very thick, box-like, which I think was a style thing. That's what I mean about, a lot of times with sunglasses, they end up reflecting the time period they're from a little too much. And so that's why a lot of sunglasses don't age well. But I think the Juliets that I got, they actually they look surprisingly good even for their age. They look better than I do for my age. Let's put it like that. They wear their age better than I do. So, and Oakley's very good about also I don't think they don't publicize this very much, which I find a little strange. But they actually do a really good service on them. So I've sent them out, I think 2 times. I probably have to do it again soon. Where you send them out and they replace all the little gaskets and washers and grommets or whatever the names are for these things. And they clean them and they kind of just put them back together, make sure all the screws are nice and tight. Really nice service that they do. Which again, it's that too isn't. I think it's like $80, which is not cheap. It's not nothing by any stretch of the imagination. It is not. But there again, I feel like that's probably part of why these sunglasses have lasted so long, is I try to take care of them. And that's not me. I'm not trying to advocate that everybody should spend a couple $100 on sunglasses. I'm not. A lot of people have a philosophy, and I'm not saying this as if they're wrong. I'm just saying that this is generally a philosophy I've heard. But they're like, well, yeah, except I lose my sunglasses all the time, and I really don't want to have to think about them. I'd rather just, spend $10 on sunglasses and be done with it. And if they break, they break, and I don't care, and I'll spend another $10. Yeah, I mean, my wife is like that. She doesn't spend a lot of money on sunglasses. She tends to have a bunch that are just kind of thrown around, and then she just uses them, and if they break, she tosses them, and then she has another pair, and that's it. Whereas I like the idea of, I like the ones that I've got lasting for a while. And they have. Again, I'm lucky. I don't think there's a lot of sunglasses that are like that. I don't think. I could be wrong. I could very well be wrong. I often am. But I don't know of a lot of sunglasses that last that long. Um, so, not impossible that there are. I am not an Oakley spokesperson. I am not advocating either that people should go buy Oakleys. I like them, but, that's just me. So, anyway, now that I've talked about sunglasses for probably far longer than anybody would really care to hear about them, yeah, I think shading with the colors on this as opposed to having to do more line work, I think this is the way to go. I actually kind of like. I'm gonna refine these colors a little bit. They're a little, or maybe I won't. Maybe I won't. Maybe I'll leave them like this. I don't mind them. So now I need one more color to be the light color, lighter than that. So let's go ahead and let's sample this guy. We're on the right layer. We'll put that there. Let's do a nice brightness on that of maybe 55. I'm going to bring the saturation down a bit, just so it's starting to turn into a different color. Okay, I think that's good. I think that'll make a nice light color. Oh yeah, that's good. That's a good color. Good pick. That is nice coloring to use. Okay. There we are. Oops, not like that though. So we're aiming for probably about an hour-long stream today. That's my goal. We'll see. That's what I'm going to try for. Yeah, I think those colors are good. I think they're going to work. Oh, I think we're going to sneeze. Oh, boy, just in time. Whoo! That would not have been fun for the audio. Volume would have spiked. So, once in a while, those creep up on me. I thought that was going to be a yawn, and it started changing. It started changing rapidly. So I went, uh-oh. I better make sure that I do not sneeze into the mic. I think I did that on maybe not the last stream, but the stream before. I felt really bad about it because I don't like... I know I don't like sudden loud sounds. I'm not a big fan of that. So I don't like to subject other people to it either. Yeah. So sorry about that if you were on that stream. I was not trying to sneeze. So that's just a normal yawn. I can tell that's just a yawn. That one was pretty easy to identify. But that other, the one before where I just sneezed now, it was only right. I was actually fumbling to click on it, so I was trying to hold my breath for a minute because I really did not want to sneeze directly into the microphone, and I probably would have. So, yep. Okay. There we are. Okay. All right. Let's see here. I just finished my polyptych 4-card image on magic cards. I don't know why I like. I really don't. I never know why I am. I thought I was doing pretty well on the yawning thing this stream, but it's catching up to me. I don't know why, because I'm not tired. But anyway, yeah, somebody had asked for 4 magic cards that on their backs formed a single image. So I did a kind of variation on the classic Madonna and Child idea, except in this case it was the Mandalorian and the Baby Yoda character. And I was pretty happy with how it turned out. Wasn't really sure. For a while I was kind of not sure if it was going to turn out as well as I had it in my head, but got it. I salvaged it. I got it where it needed to be. So I'm happy with that. Hopefully the individual who requested it is as well. I really hope so, because I did get to do a lot of color work on it, and I had some fun with it, which I didn't know if that was going to be the case, because I don't know if I've mentioned this on the stream. I think I have mentioned that I'm not the biggest Mandalorian fan. Really not exactly my thing. Just in general. Nothing specifically wrong with it or anything like that. I understand why people like it, and it's just that I don't. But it was a fun drawing. It's still a fun drawing. I don't have to necessarily... I'm sorry. I don't know why I'm yawning. I really don't. I don't know what the yawning thing is. Now I think it's almost just like a habit. It's almost like a body association thing that now when I'm streaming, I just yawn. So I don't even think it's. I think at this point, I'm not going to be able to shake it. I mean, I could mainline a bunch of caffeine right before the stream, I guess, but I don't want to do that. I mean, that's just whatever. It doesn't seem like something I need to necessarily worry that much about. Okay, what is this? What is this? Is this something? Oh, it's an empty layer. Oh, okay. Well, if it's an empty layer, then we'll make this the teeth. Now the question is, yeah, maybe I'll yellow the teeth a bit. Let's see. Punch this a little bit. Yeah, something like that. Oh yeah, that'll work. Okay. Yeah, there we go. Just a little bit something different for it. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, no, the Mandalorian thing turned out good. Because and honestly, I've had a lot of luck with this too, where a lot of people are very, very kind of like, oh, here's a bunch of options, pick whatever one you want. Really, really great people to deal with in the Magic community, I have to say, for my limited exposure to it. And not that I thought that. It's not like I thought it was going to be a bunch of scummy people or anything like that, but man, the Magic thing in general has really been a extraordinarily positive experience, and not just in interacting with the fans of the game, but even the oh, I see my thing disappeared. Hold on, I saw it, so I can get it back. I'll get it back for you. Oh, wait a minute. But even dealing with Hasbro as a company, I mean, I know people have problems with some of the stuff that Wizards is doing with the cards, but I'm talking about outside of the business, like that part of it. My interaction, sorry, my interactions with everybody have just been really wonderful, just great. So, and then the people, everybody, because people are paying not inconsiderable amounts of money for this stuff, and they're all like, oh yeah, take your time, don't worry about it. I'm like, wow, man, you guys are really patient. Because, man, I know that is not the case everywhere. I know there are places where you do not get the time you should for certain things. But that has not been the case with any of the Magic stuff, so I'm very, very happy. Man, that is a good skull color. I really like those colors. I really do. I think that I may darken the dark ones a little bit more. Let me see this. I may push these down a little bit more. Let's push them down to 45, maybe. Yeah. I like that. That's good. That's good. Yeah, I like the skull's good. Sorry, I was just erasing something. I'm gonna get a drink of water. I'm gonna cover it up on the mic. Sorry, right before I went to drink my water, I realized I was still on mute though, that my thing hadn't. It didn't remember to share the screen. So sorry. Okay, I managed to drink water very quietly there, so we're fine. All right. So yeah, no, everybody I've dealt with the Magic stuff has just been great. Okay, so what do we want to make the color of this fleshy mass thing on top of the skull? Let me see. My impulse is kind of go with a weird color, like something like this purplish thing. I don't know why. Let me just see here. I kind of do like that. I mean, I could do a green. I do kind of the classic green blob. Green might not look bad either. Actually, yeah, maybe I'll do teal, huh? I don't know about teal. Yeah, no, let's go with this. I like this. I like this color. So let's use a baseline on this guy. Do that, and we'll do the same kind of thing. Well, that might actually be perfectly dark right there. I was gonna say I might push this down in dark tone a bit, but I don't think so. I think we're good. Yeah, I think we're all right. As long as my screen doesn't disappear. Okay. Man, my wife and I went, not last weekend, the weekend before. I don't know if, I assume these are an American only thing, but we went to a burger chain in about 20 minutes away from here called Red Robin. We hadn't been there in a while. Been trying to eat better in general. But also, there used to be one closer by. Closer by, yeah, I think that's good English. There used to be one that was closer to us, there, just in case. And it went out, which I was shocked. I couldn't believe this place went out because it always seemed packed. But then again, I don't know what the rent was. Maybe it wasn't as packed as it seemed. Who knows? You find out that there's lots of variance in business. Even though something may look wildly successful, it doesn't always mean that it is. In any event, that one went out, which was a shame. I mean, on the one hand, it was probably good for our health because we both really liked the place. But the bad part was we hadn't gone in a while. But, oh, man. Their burgers are just really good. Really good. I also, I have to admit, I didn't for a long time. And I apologize. I don't want to necessarily talk about food and make people hungry, but I'm hungry myself, so my natural inclination is to veer into food. Chili's actually has started to make some really good burgers, and that never used to be the case. I never liked Chili's burgers when I was younger. I just got to erase this there's a little overlapping bit of line here. I just want to clean this up. But I do like their skillet queso burger, I think it's called. Oh, it's good. It's good. I have largely... I am a mostly vegetarian. My wife is a complete vegetarian. Which actually, well, people say that like, oh man, it's gonna be tough, man, putting up with the suffering from being a vegetarian. It's really not that much suffering. Honestly, it's not. I mean, I still will eat bacon here and there. I still will eat meat here and there. When we go out anywhere, I generally don't get a veggie burger. I generally get a regular burger. But honestly, and again, this is not me trying to preach to anybody. I'm not trying to tell anybody how to live their life or what they should feel guilty or good about, whatever. Everybody makes their own decisions. But they're because some people are like, oh, do you do it because of animal rights? And honestly, yeah, I kind of do now. It's my kind of outlook on that has changed a lot in recent years. When I was younger, I didn't care so much about stuff like that, which is not to say I was, I wasn't cruel to animals or anything like that. So I'm just leaning over and looking at the black layers here. Oh, that's what I missed. So I was never that type of person. Fortunately, because that tends to be somebody who becomes a serial killer. But I don't think I cared that much either. I never really thought about, as most people don't when they're young, you don't think about the food chain and factory farming and all that stuff. And I do remember when I was younger, somebody, and I'm not even going to describe what the video is, but somebody at a friend's house put on one of these videos that an animal rights group had snuck out of some, and that was a horrible video. That probably never fully left my mind, even though that was years and years before I ever met my wife or became vegetarian. But that I remember watching a video that was really just horrific to watch. And and I think that was one of these, oh, let's watch something really horrible type videos that you do when you're young. Don't ask me to explain it, but it's whatever. It was a phase. But that one was rough. That one was pretty rough. And I still remember bits of it, even though I only saw it the one time a lot of years ago, and a lot of things I've watched have faded from memory, but not that one. And it was only, I only remember watching maybe, honestly, it was probably less than 2 minutes of it. And that was more than enough for me to never need to watch something like that again. And that largely, that helps when there's times where I'm like, oh boy, because although also fake meat really does taste pretty good. They've really made it pretty good, because I've had it over the years, and 7-8 years ago, it's not that it was ever terrible, but it certainly wasn't what I would call good. Whereas now, honestly, I don't miss meat that much, which is compared to how I was when I was younger, when I could have lived on hamburgers every single day. You could have fed me burgers and pizza every day of my young life, and I would have thanked you for it. I did not need variety. I didn't care. I had things, and I'm still somewhat like this, where there's just some things I like, and those are the things I like, and I stick with them. But I mean, if somebody had come to me when I was 18 or 20 and said, one day you're not going to eat meat anymore, or at least 80%, no more than that, 90% of your diet will be meat free, I would have been like, yeah, right. They're never going to make it taste this good. But they really have. I mean, it's really the fake meat thing it's surprisingly good. I really the Beyond Burgers and the Impossible Meat stuff. It's good. I know there's some people who say, well, it's still not as good at. Well, yeah, I'm not gonna tell you that you're going to be quote unquote fooled by like bacon. They can't get that. I have not tasted any type of. Oh, I forgot to turn this layer on. I have not tasted a single type of synthetic bacon that for even a microsecond would have fooled me into thinking it was bacon. No way. It's not the same. I don't know that that's a flavor that is easily replicated. I'm not saying they can't ever do it. They probably will at some point figure out something that's close enough that I wouldn't care. But they ain't there yet. They're simply not there yet. But that's So I don't mind. I don't miss it that much. I really don't. But I do eat it when we go out. That's where I'm like, okay, you know what? I'll have actual meat on it, and even though I know that it doesn't suddenly, somehow become more humane meat because I ate it in a restaurant somewhere. So I'm aware of the kind of not hypocrisy is the wrong word for it, but kind of the irony maybe would be the best word for it of doing that. So I get it, and I know people who are vegan even that won't. I've and a lot of them that is the reason, and also health stuff. And vegan people do tend to be very skinny, almost all of them. Oh, hold on a minute. Is this a call I have to worry about? Nope. That is I apologize if you can hear the phone ringing in the background. It appears to be I would assume this is somebody trying to buy our house again. There's like I'm sure like most people, there's a constant flood during the week of both text. Although the texts have calmed down a bit, I must admit. But there is a steady stream of people who are trying to buy our house. I don't even think they're actually trying to buy our house. They're just massively searching for any house. Ah, yes. Let's see. Leaving a message? Nope. No message. What a non-surprise that is. Yeah. So I was just checking to make sure it was not my wife or a family member or something where I might have to be worried about a car accident or whatever. But, so yes, Red Robin, very good burgers. And I'm sure that also the fact that I don't really eat meat burgers that much anymore also makes them better. Because then when it's kind of like if you don't eat sugar for a long time. My wife and I did a whole thing where we went a month without eating any sugar. She's still sticking with it pretty closely. I am generally trying to avoid high levels of sugar, which I've done anyway. But my whole thing is, I don't ever do diets. I don't ever say, okay, starting next month, I'm going to, do this completely differently. I've never been that type of person. For me, it's much more of a change one component type of thing and stick with that. And then you just stack the components, right? Like a Lego set or whatever. And you just keep doing things like that. And that way it's not a sudden shock to the system. You don't feel like you've just changed everything about how you're doing things, but you just make little changes. And so instead of sticking with no more sugar, as a lot of people do, my whole thing is, okay, I'm not going to eat desserts at home. Or I will not eat any dessert that has sugar at home. So I'm not worrying about, because I know ketchup has a lot of sugar and stuff like that, but I love ketchup. Like barbecue sauce has sugar. I'm not worrying about that stuff. Anything that's part of the main meals, I'm not concerned about it. But I've just cut out desserts. So no cookies, no ice cream, except again, if we go out or it's some kind of special occasion, something like that. But all that stuff is just, and that's been fine. That's been pretty easy. Haven't struggled with that. And because I think that's the way I can do it. My wife can do the whole thing where suddenly she'll just say, "All right, I'm done with X thing," and she's just done with it. I admire that. I don't have that kind of willpower. That's too far for me to go in one shot. So I do these little kind of component things, and I just, like I said, I kind of build them up, and that I think has worked really well for me. And so I haven't eaten a dessert since I think we did the month without sugar. I think was March. So it's been a few months since that, and largely have not. Haven't eaten any desserts. I finished off the stuff that was in the house. I'm not going to throw away food. I don't believe in that. So, I kind of picked at my wife had gotten me chocolate for probably Christmas that was still in the fridge. But I mean, it's American chocolate, which I know most people will say is garbage chocolate anyway, so who cares? So I've just slowly piecemealed away at that until it was gone. And then we do in one of the cabinets, I know we have some Girl Scout cookies, which at some point, again, probably will eat just because otherwise, I guess we could give them away, but I don't know. I don't think there's anything wrong with having Girl Scout cookies here and there. But I know they're in there, and that was the thing where my other big thing is if I know something is here, I tend to eat it. But I've been doing pretty good with those, where even though I know they're there, I actually haven't eaten them, which I'm honestly a bit surprised that I've done that well with it, but I've done pretty well with it. So, kind of like, all right, sweet, But that's how I generally approach stuff. I don't do big, huge changes like some people do, where they're like, all right, my, New Year's resolution is no more of this. And then they, say they're going to run 100 miles every day or whatever. And some people that works for them, so that's great. Again, none of the stuff when I say I don't do this or I don't believe in this stuff, this is never meant to be me saying that anybody should do things the way I do. It's just the way that I've found that works for me. So there are people who need to do that, who if they don't make a big, solid, very demonstrative commitment to something, it will not stick. They cannot do things in small pieces. Hey, do whatever works for you. I'm all for it. I just know for me it wouldn't work. Let's see, that's two. Okay, so I gotta do that one. For me, the small scale stuff is better, because I think when I've tried to do bigger changes or more significant things all in one shot, then there's a part of me that sort of resents the fact that I have to give up something. Whereas with little changes, it's kind of like, you let's see if you even miss this. You don't miss it. Don't worry about it. And that works. So yeah, right now the whole thing is no. I don't know, the one that people say, oh, you should eat more vegetables. I don't know if I'm ever going to be able to I'm just not a vegetable person. Just not. I don't know that I'm ever going to be able to accomplish the whole eat more vegetables thing. I just don't know if it's something I really think I'll be able to do. I know it would be better for me. I know there's huge benefits to it. I just don't know if I can do it. I really don't. Because I just don't like vegetables. Never have. Not literally none. I like, but the vegetables I like tend to be ones that apparently aren't that great for you, because the green stuff is what they say. The greens are good for you. I don't like a lot of green vegetables. Don't like spinach. Ooh, where's that line? Oh no, where's that line coming from? Hold on, it's probably not on the same layer. I think I'm safe. I sure hope so, because that will really suck if that line is Oh, it's not. Really? Jeez. All right, hold on. I'll fix it. I'll get it where it needs to go. But that's really stupid that I did that. I must not have known. Obviously, I didn't notice that. Okay, there we go. We're fine. What was I talking about? It was something in relation to vegetables, wasn't it? I don't remember what it was. What was I? Oh, whatever. Oh, green. Yeah, I don't like green vegetables. I just don't. Never really have. I know. I should. I'm aware. It's not intellectually lost on me that green vegetables have a lot of health benefits. I just can't bring myself to eat them. I've tried. My wife will tell you, I do try things. I'm not one of these people who will never try something. But it's seldom. Although avocados worked out. Actually, because they don't taste like anything, honestly. That's why I'll say that to anybody who asks me. The reason I discovered I'm fine with avocados is they don't taste like anything. I know my wife says, yes, they taste like something, and my response is, no, they don't. They don't taste like anything, which is why I'm fine putting them in stuff. And apparently they're a superfood, so yay, there's some type of greenish vegetable that I like. Huzzah, something. You know, I'm not a complete idiot in the vegetable department. I don't know if I like this purple. I don't know if I like it. Let me change some hue stuff here. I don't know. I might like green. Oh, maybe something like that. Maybe it's just... no, that looks too close to the bone color now. Let's see. How's the green look? Like a dull green. That don't look bad. That's an extreme thing on the hue, and then a 29% saturation. Let's see. I don't like the purple. I'll be honest, I just don't like it. Drop the saturation down quite a bit. I don't know if I really like the green better either, but I think I like it better than what it was. Yeah, I wasn't liking that other color. I don't know. I'm struggling on this one. No, I'm okay with this. And we have to do the little drops. And then we'll have to do the backdrop of the eyes. I can use the same red. I really don't have to use a different red. So we'll do our... there's something that's overlapping there. It's probably... What is that? Is that the... Oh, it's got to be this. Yep, that's what it is. Clean that up. That's fine. Should not be all that surprising, honestly. Okay. Let's get our blood droplets in. And then we may be able to call this one finito. We may be able to. I think this might be done after this. Like everything else, the goal has to be not to overwork something. To actually be able to call something done. I think... Oh, I can see the yellow. I can see the bone color right there. There it is. I think we're in good shape here. I will say I am watching... I don't know whether this was a good idea or not. I am watching the... They tried to make a RoboCop show back in I think it was 2001 called Prime Directives. I'm watching it. It definitely has a budgetary issue. But you know what? I like the fact that they are trying. It's very clear that they are trying to follow the example of the first movie. I mean, they unfortunately don't seem to have enough money to do it. And they made a really, not even going to say bad, but they made a somewhat confusing choice in that the person that they picked to play RoboCop, because at least in the first episode you get a lot of flashback of him as Alex Murphy before he was RoboCop. Because when he's RoboCop, you really only see his face. There's nothing else. Everything else is covered up by a suit. So to some degree, it doesn't really matter, what the rest of them looks like. But you would sort of, or at least I'll say, I assumed that if you're going to do a RoboCop show that's going to feel like it is trying to evoke the original movie this much, then what you would probably be doing is shopping around for somebody who looks like Peter Weller. That's what I would do. But as I'm watching the first episode of this and I'm looking at this guy, No, I'm fine. I'm good. I'm looking at him, right? And I'm sitting here going, what is off about this person? There's something off about this person. And I can't work out what it is. What is it? What is it that's off about this person? And it took me a little bit to realize it. And then when I realized it, boy, did I realize it. It's that instead of getting a Peter Weller lookalike, they went out and found themselves a Rutger Hauer lookalike. This guy, when he's not in the robo armor, looks a lot, and I mean a lot, like Rutger Hauer, which you could do worse in terms of actors to look like. But it's sort of odd that in the RoboCop show, they got a guy who looks like Rutger Hauer. It's just sort of odd to me. Not even bad, but then once I realized it, then I'm like, oh yeah, that's what it is. And that's exactly what he looks like. And it's just a little strange because, again, the first RoboCop film, it's not like Rutger Hauer even came in for a later one that I'm aware of. I don't think he was ever involved in anything with RoboCop. I don't think. I could be wrong, but certainly not in some big, meaningful way. So you sit there and go, why would you pick someone? And I'm not saying he looks like Rutger Hauer. Oh, damn, the thing. I see the thing disconnected again. Hold on, I'll connect it back up. I'm not saying that he has a very minor, his eye line kind of looks like Rutger Hauer. I'm telling you, he looks like Rutger Hauer, where he could play Rutger Hauer's brother. You know what I mean? And that to me is odd that that's what they went with, because again, it's a role that is so associated. It may be for most people Peter Weller's most recognizable role. They may not even know Peter Weller from anything else but RoboCop. I mean, I certainly do. I think he's great in a lot of things. Not to mention Buckaroo Banzai. But I can understand why a lot of people who aren't weirdos like me might not. And so again, that you would think you would stick with that because people would recognize. And Peter Weller has a very distinctive face too. So the fact that they went with a guy who looks like Rutger Hauer, it's strange. That's all. It's not bad. I'm not saying it's bad. I don't want to come off like I'm saying the guy is not good or that I think he was a bad casting choice. I wouldn't even say that. It's just a little strange. That's all. It's just a little weird to me that's the direction they went. But, it has more significant problems than a Rutger Hauer lookalike. Not problems I think are going to stop me from watching it. I think I'm going to stick with it because I kind of like some of what it's doing. But whoa, you can see the limits and I wasn't thinking about that. Oh, it doesn't matter. You can see the purse strings and how tight they are very clearly in this show. It's a very inexpensively made Canadian production. But like I said, that alone is not going to deter me. I don't mind. I'm okay with the frills being minimal. Or sorry, that's terrible English. I'm okay with a shoestring budget if I feel like the people that are making it have some, good ideas for the material, or at least some reverence for, in this case, what they're following up. Because the idea is it's ignoring any of the sequels that were not the first movie. So I don't even think it considers the second movie to be in existence. There's no indication of it. And so I'm like, okay, that's interesting. And I like some of the stuff they've already kind of played with in the show, because the basic idea of it is that it's 10 years after the first movie. And so, there's a point where you see RoboCop and he's sitting there and he's talking to this, essentially a caretaker woman who is in charge of keeping him maintained. And I think she's supposed to be a doctor, I'm pretty sure. And he's talking about the fact that, he's almost getting spiritual about, wasn't I have to believe I was created for a higher purpose or something like that. Like there was a reason for my creation type of stuff. That's interesting. Because they played a little bit with that in the movie, but not a ton. I mean, the movie knew what it was trying to be, which is a great movie. But it also, it has very specific things that it's trying to do. And so I like that this show is trying to veer outside of that a little bit and kind of expand what the idea of RoboCop could be. So I'm going to stick with it. I mean, unless it really takes a turn for the worse. But from my understanding, it doesn't. It's basically it's a mini-series of 4 roughly 90-minute movies. And from everything I've read, the budget is the biggest problem. And some of the casting decisions, some of the people aren't necessarily great actors. That's okay. You know, I can let stuff like that go. That is not gonna. I wonder if I need to put white behind those tentacles. I definitely have to have white for the eyes, so I'm gonna do that right now. As a matter of fact, gonna get some white here. But whoa, almost lost my little mouse wrist thing. Sorry. You know, I don't care about the acting. You know, I know people get hung up on that. I'm okay with, as long as not everybody's a bad actor. It doesn't really bother me that much. I can easily overlook less than Anthony Hopkins level acting, as long as it's not, again, every single person. I mean, if you just have a complete train wreck of a cast top to bottom, different thing. But there's no, so far I've not gotten that indication. In fact, at least one of the people in it was in Total Recall 2070, which also I think was Canadian, I'm pretty sure. So I was already delighted to see that guy right away. A couple faces I recognized, most I did not. Although one of the women in it, I have a feeling I've seen her in something. I just don't know what. But yeah, like I said, the acting thing is not going to bother me the way that it might bother some other people. Would I love them all to be fantastic actors? Well, sure, of course. Yeah, that would be great. But you don't always get that. That's okay. I don't know whether I want to put this red in or not. I'm kind of going back and forth on this, but I wonder if I should make it its own layer in case I think this is bad. I don't know. I don't mind it being transparent like that. You know what? I think I'm going to leave it like that. I think I'm going to leave that. I think I'm going to leave it. I'm going to stick with that. What I am going to do is I do want to shade the teeth, though. I don't know why, but shading the teeth seems like something I want to do. So I'm going to go ahead and add a layer. And we'll do this, and then we'll go to our brightness, and we'll knock that down by 5. Yeah. And then I'll knock it down by another 5 for one more layer, and then we'll be... Oh. Sample the right color, moron. There we go. So we'll just do one of the back. The back tooth will be dark. And I think we'll be, let's see, how many teeth are there? Yeah. Yeah. 2, 4, 6. Oh no, okay. No, I want to do it like this. I didn't realize I did not realize I had even rows of teeth. So actually, I want to do this. Okay, and we'll delete this out because these will be darker teeth back here. Do that. Okay. Jeez, you can barely even see those. Hold on, we gotta darken that more. That is not enough. That's better. You can see it now. You couldn't really even see it before. Whoops. The right color. Overline. There we go. I mean, it doesn't really need, these don't really need to be dark, but why not? I'm already doing it, so I might as well. So we need these 2 teeth like that. Okay. And then I think this is going to be done. I really do. I think this is going to be finished. I may just do series of skulls. I almost said series, which I don't think is English, because I'm actually having a lot of fun with them. Different type of skull stuff. You know, it may not even be with creatures on them. It might just be the skulls themselves. But I kind of like them. All right, let's get one more thing in here. We'll darken that down a little more. There we go. We'll drop the saturation just a tad. There we are. Sample it, and now let's color this in, and then everybody, which everybody appears to be one person, but still everybody. That's still everybody. If I'm saying it to one person, it's still everybody who's here. I think we're going to be done here. I think this image is going to be finito. Let's take a look. Make sure I go outside the lines. I didn't. I think I'm okay. So we're still, where are we? We need to be on this one. Switch to here. Fill this in. Okay. Do that. Yeah. I think that's where I want it to be. I mean, there's a little bit of lack of detail up here. You know what I'm going to do? Before I declare this done, I think I'm going to stop here for tonight because we're almost at an hour anyway, and an hour is a good amount of time to work on something and then step away from it. So what I think I'm going to do is I think I'm going to stop here. Hold on, let me pull the curtain back or pull the curtain down. There we go. But I think I'm going to stop here, and I'll come back and evaluate this next week, or the next stream, and see what I think. I have a feeling I'm going to want to put some. I think I want to put some detail lines into that skull. I don't think I'm really happy with, or not the skull, but the bag on the top. I think I'm going to want more to that than what is currently there. I just have a hunch that that's what I'm going to want to do. But we'll see. We'll see. I'll leave it at that. I'll reevaluate on the next stream and see what we want to do. But I have a hunch I'll end up doing some of that, maybe something else. All right. Well, in any event, another great stream. So, thank you, whoever the one viewer is that's here. Thank you for stopping by. Although, as I say every time, and I absolutely mean it, so I don't want it to be like I'm making a point with that. If somebody's watching this 6 months from now or whenever, doesn't matter to me. It's okay. I do live stream because I know some people really like live stuff, but I could record these and then release them. They'd be the same. I wouldn't be any different in terms of what I'd be saying and doing if I pre-recorded these and then released them. It wouldn't be any different. That's why I don't mind it either, because it's not like I'm a drastically different person doing a pre-recorded thing than I am doing a live thing. So it's all going to be essentially the same thing in terms of what you're getting out of me. But in any event, thank you for coming by, whether it's live or later, it doesn't matter. And I hope that if you can, you get out there and create something, because it's a lot of fun. I think it's beneficial. I say this every time. I think it's it's something a lot of us should be doing more of, because I think most people don't get to be very creative in their jobs a lot of times, which is a shame. So that means that when you have the spare time, if you have the spare time, it assumes a lot if you even have it. I know a lot of people work a lot all the time, so I understand that too. But carve out 5 or 10 minutes and try to be creative in some way. I think it's far more beneficial for our mental and physical health than we really know. I think at some point they're going to figure out that the creative expression in whatever form that takes, and it can take many different forms. It does not have to be drawing like I'm doing or music or anything. It can be whatever, where you're letting your brain play a little bit. I think they're going to find that that's actually a massively beneficial thing for people of all ages. They know it's important for kids. I don't think it ever stops being important. I'm not a scientist, though. I'm not an anthropologist. What do I know about anything? It's just purely my opinion, but that is my opinion on that. So anyway, go out there and create if you can. Thank you for stopping by, and whether, again, it's while the stream's happening or later, either way works for me. Hopefully you're entertained by it. That's the important part. It really doesn't matter when. It's just hope you're not bored to death. And on that note, we'll see you on the next stream. Take care.